So, the Montreal Canadiens and the Vancouver Canucks have themselves games later today, but as I had mentioned in a prior video, I personally have beer league hockey going on in the evening, so I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to make videos directly about Utah, Montreal, and Vancouver, Columbus as they happen and as they conclude. But that doesn't mean we still can't go out there and make some commentary about what's going on with their situation. So today, we got ourselves a Montreal Canadiens trade idea, pseudo-quasi-trade update, and a totally disastrous piece of news for the Vancouver Canucks. It is pandemonium here in Vancouver, and it's getting worse. We'll talk about that in the second half of this video, but today, I wanted to start out our conversation by talking about Ryan O'Reilly of the Nashville Predators. Now, the Preds, they're actually playing right now. They're playing off against the Dallas Stars. It's looking pretty tight in that game, but Ryan O'Reilly is an interesting name who has seemingly entered the NHL trade block. 34 years old, 6'1", 216, a left-handed center, making $4.5 million a year till the end of 2027. O'Reilly is a guy who, in his words, had one good year in his career, and then ended up becoming pretty bad afterwards. But that's just him being self-deprecating and taking the blame for Nashville's failures the last little while. O'Reilly this season hasn't been fantastic. He's got 10 points in 16 games, on pace for about 52, which would be the same point production range that he had the year before. It's a far cry from the 69 points he had in 82 games in 23-24, and the 77 points he had in 82 games in that stellar St. Louis Blues Stanley Cup Conn Smythe winning year. He was a point-per-game guy in that year, and O'Reilly, say what you want about him falling off or never being as good or whatever, he still can provide two-way, stable, Selke light caliber value at this stage of his career. I say Selke light because he's probably not winning any one of those trophies anymore at this stage of his career, but things have gone pretty poorly in Nashville for a lot of folks this season, and O'Reilly, you can say, is one of many who could use a change of scenery, especially at the age that he is at. This is why we had NHL Rumor Report tweeting what David Pagnotta said on The Sheet 2 days ago with Jeff Merrick. Regarding Ryan O'Reilly, Pagnotta says that the Predators are going to send him somewhere. If they do move him, somewhere where it's going to be a contender. Now, I think that quote is worded improperly, like, oh, they're going to send him somewhere where it's going to be a contender. No, he's going to get sent to a contending team. We can rephrase that a little bit. But Ryan O'Reilly is now in a spot where, when you take a look at the deal, his trade protection, or lack thereof, allows him to just get sent wherever it is. He doesn't have any clauses on that deal. But considering what's going on in Nashville and considering his career stage, it does not look like Ryan O'Reilly is going to be happy or peaceful sticking around in Nashville with the way the team is losing and the way that he's conducting himself in interviews. There are some folks going out there and saying, like, oh, he's going to cry his way onto a contender like he did in Buffalo. I don't really disagree necessarily, but at the same time, this does provide us with opportunities to talk about trades. And it's why this tweet, posted on NHL Rumor Report, was then reposted onto the RHAB subreddit, where Shogun2909 wanted to get the discussion going with Habs fans as to whether or not he could be an option in Montreal. Top comment says, I doubt he would want to play here. He didn't want to play in Toronto because of the media pressure. I was thinking the same thing, and I hope they'd get some clarity in that. It was reported that he didn't like the dressing room and the attention the Core 4 got in Toronto, so maybe he would like the seemingly close group the Canadiens have. Yeah, I remember it seemed to be more about the vibes in the Toronto locker room rather than the city itself, but there were comments that Ryan O'Reilly just was not cool with the situation over there, and thus he wanted to leave. He went over to a hockey market like Nashville that isn't necessarily as crazed as Toronto Maple Leafs fans can be, so Obviously, there was an element of spotlight that you could debate may have dissuaded O'Reilly from sticking around, and you could also debate if that same element is present in Montreal. For a late pick at our fringe prospect, I love the guy, but if we think Laine is slow, wait till you see O'Reilly now. I actually wouldn't hate it if it was a second and a mid-range prospect, so long as it doesn't close the door on a Crosby trade. I'm interested. Okay, just think about that, eh? Suzuki, Crosby, O'Reilly? That would be insane. He didn't like the pressure in Toronto, he sure as hell won't like it here either. No chance he comes to the Habs. I've had my eye on O'Reilly. 4.5 cap hit, no trade protection, only signed through next year. Depending on what Trotz wants, and if O'Reilly wants to play in Canada, then I'd say go for it. So, despite the fact that O'Reilly is not the same player that he was all those years ago, I do still question if there's an element of Montreal that would be explored here if O'Reilly were to be presented with a hypothetical trade to a contending, quote-unquote, team. Montreal could definitely do that this year, who knows? But now, shifting gears from the Habs over to the Canucks, I wanted to talk about Vancouver because of what's going on with their goaltending. And we're going to leave just a few minutes for this one because I do think that there's not really much to expand upon other than the Canucks are totally screwed. Take a look at this. This is a tweet by Rick Dhaliwal from last night, talking about the Abbotsford Canucks game against the Colorado Eagles, and how Abby, last night, had their emergency backup goalie, C.J. Kier, in net in the third period. Not sure what happened to Ty Young. Kier is from Colorado and he hasn't played this season. The Abby injuries are also getting crazy. C.J. Kier was playing in last night's Abbotsford Canucks game, the emergency backup goalie. And now with that, we had Adam Kierszenblad of the Hockey News going out there and giving us the scoop. Here is the Canucks goalie situation as of this morning. 1. Jiri Patera had to be called up to the NHL because of Demko and his maintenance, is it an injury, is it not type of deal. Nikita Tolopilo and Ty Young are hurt in Abbotsford. Jonathan Lemieux and Koskenvuo had to be called up from Kalamazoo, and they are the new duo with the Abbotsford Canucks. What in the world is going on? Folks, Jiri Patera is with the Vancouver Canucks. Who knows if he gets the Colorado Avalanche tomorrow? Kevin Lankinen has the Blue Jackets today. You have Nikita Tolopilo and Ty Young both injured in Abbotsford, and now Jonathan Lemieux and Koskenvuo are your new Abbotsford goaltending duo. These guys were in the ECHL this year. Lemieux had a 20 save percentage in 2 games, and Koskenvuo had himself an .894 save percentage in 2 games. I mean, say what you want about Koskenvuo being passable with Harvard last year, but he hasn't gotten off to the best pro start to his career. Meanwhile, Lemieux, same thing. He was in the ECHL the past 2-3 years. So things have definitely taken a turn for the worse in terms of Vancouver and Abbotsford goaltending. There's a new tandem in town, and with Tolopilo, Young, Demko out, Patera is up, Lankinen might be forced to play more than he's capable of. Lemieux and Koskenvuo are in Abbey. Things are just totally falling apart with the Vancouver Canucks and their health situation, and I don't even know how to evaluate things from here. The Abbey Canucks have been sucking because their top guys are all playing for Vancouver. So I don't think this is going to spell any positive development for guys like Lemieux or Koskenvuo, who are just going to be totally shelled out. I mean, last night, the Abbotsford Canucks, they only had like 10 shots on goal against the Colorado Eagles. They got totally caved in. So Koskenvuo and Lemieux, you guys are going to be dealing with an entirely new animal here. This guy has not played AHL hockey ever. He went from the QMJHL to the U Sports League to the ECHL, and now he's going to be in an AHL tandem, while all of the other AHL guys are either in the NHL or hurt. This is total disaster mode, people. And I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Canucks goaltending? How do you feel about the idea of Ryan O'Reilly heading over to the Montreal Canadiens? I just wanted to get this quick video out there here because I'm available just for a little bit today, considering my schedule. So yeah, can't guarantee a super immediate post-game video for Vancouver after the game is over, but I'll try my best. We'll see what happens. Thoughts in the comment section below about O'Reilly and the Canucks goaltending situation. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.